Hello everyone. So we have been talking about aging with vitality, and man, I am 54 this year, and it's on my mind. It has been on my mind for the last 10 years, going through health issues, emotional issues, just trying to find myself and understand who I am. And so I'm sharing some of the thoughts that I've had and some of the research I've done and what I've come up with. The last episode we spoke about how the intrauterine, the last episode we spoke about how that journey as an embryo inside your mother's womb affects how you age. If that fetus is well nourished and, is born with vitality and energy and all the organs are well formed, etc., how that impacts your aging. And I don't think I mentioned, my daughter, she gave me permission to mention this. She is, I adopted her at 3 weeks old, and she, to this day, she's 21 years old. Although she has lived with me all her life, she has not been able to connect with the life that she currently has with me and has had with me, because during her embryonic formation and her journey in the womb, she had a lot of difficulties. Her birth mother was 12 years old in the country, did not want that pregnancy, and that was what she was impacted with for the entire 9 months to this day. We're working through it, but it is affecting the way she owns herself, owns her space, owns who she is. I am meant to be here. I need to take care of myself. I love myself, because that embryonic journey was like, you're not loved, you're not wanted. So let's say that everything goes correctly and you're well formed. We are going to talk about that period between 1 and 7 years old, where scientists have unequivocally showed that the messages that we receive during those periods also affects the way we think about ourselves. And I'm always talking about the way we think about ourselves, because the way we think about ourselves will determine how well we age, because it will determine how well we connect to our bodies, connect to ourselves, take care of our bodies, set strong boundaries that is serving self, because if you are not well served, you can't serve anyone else. And of course, that period 1 to 7, the messages that we can get: oh, I'm not loved, I am not worthy, especially if you are in an environment where it's violent. You have violent environment, domestic violence, whether your family were not family that had, were at ease at expressing their love for you, celebrating you as a child. And you need that between 1 and 7, because you're discovering, okay, who am I? What am I? Why am I here? Should I be here? And believe it or not, most of us, our first traumas started with our parents. Our parents are the first, the first offenders, I would say. And of course, if we're going to be parents ourselves, we have to understand that, because our words are so important as it pertains to children, and being affirming of our children, ensuring that they are nurtured, and that we understand that, children need to understand that they are needed, they are wanted, and that experience starts very early. And you may not have had abusive, actively violent parents or anything, but if you're in a multi-sibling household, you may have different messages. I am one of 5 girls. Each one of my sisters, they've had a different experience with my parents. I'm like, but it is, because my parents were at different age, different stages of their life, different financial security. And so all of us seem to have had different experiences with my parents. None of them terribly negative, but our stories are different. And it might not be even that our parents have intentionally said, oh, you're this or you're that, some negative, but a new sibling comes into play and all the intention goes towards that sibling. I have clients who have shared with me that, a new sibling comes in the home and now they know that their mother had postpartum depression, so there was a withdrawal from both the new sibling and her. And the message that she got is, I'm not loved, I'm not wanted, I don't deserve to be here, I'm not worthy. And those messages are subtle and you may not even realize it. They do determine and stick with you. Like my messages came a little later on, which I'm going to tell you about, when I was about 11, 12. I mean, it had nothing to do with my parents. Thank God my parents were there. But even to this day, and after quite a bit of therapy, and I have a coach that, you know, coaches me through my thoughts and, you know, what exactly, you know, our thoughts are, what my thoughts mean to me, what I went through. And, you know, it had to do with an exam I had to. I don't remember if you guys remember common entrance. You know, I'm dating myself. Common entrance doesn't even exist. Young people are looking at going, what exactly is common entrance? To go to high school in Jamaica years ago, you had to do something called common entrance. I was always a lover of school. I love schoolwork. I love everything. And, you know, you had 3 chances to do common entrance or 2 chances or something like that. And when I was in grade 4, I was like, I'm going to get common entrance first go, like nothing. Like the complacency and the full of myselfness was tremendous. And I had a best friend at the time, and we both were going into common entrance very, very confident. Of course, I was a bit overconfident. I didn't study as much because I was like, school is easy for me, I don't need to study as much. And I didn't pass the common entrance the first go, but my friend did. And I remember feeling like for months not myself. It's like I was transferred into another zone. I was a failure. My God, I can't get anything right. Look at my friend, she's gone through and I'm here in failure land. And I continued to do well in school. But that experience I noticed as an adult, trying to take care of myself and on that journey to say, hey, you're not an imposter. You're actually a very amazing, wonderful, beautiful, competent surgeon. You know, sometimes it comes back to me like, are you now, Sandra? Are you now, like, is failure just around the corner? You know what I mean? And I've had to work through that and understand and deal with that, you know, and I've done things like child regression therapy to deal with that inner child that says, hey, failure is just around the corner, and go back and soothe that inner child and say, hey, Sandy, it's okay. Like you did well. You know, you did well. You work hard. As a matter of fact, you probably have been working too hard. Like, you can rest a little bit now. It's okay, and just enjoy what you do. And so taking care of me and my mind and my heart and my emotional space is so important. So what I wanted to share with you today is evaluating those messages you received as a child is so important in the way we view ourselves as adults, and if we're worthy of abundance, love, magnificence, if we're worthy of everything that's good that the universe has to offer us. And you are. That's what I gotta tell you today. You are. So am I. Like, there is nothing too good for this girl. There is nothing too amazing for me. Like, and I get up and whatever my mind tells me to do, and that's what's gonna rock my boat today, I am doing it. I mean, don't. And that's what I want to say to you. Like, it's all about you. It's all about you understanding how you feel about yourself, and that period, that childhood period, you know, where you get these messages that you have to deal with. And of course, it always starts or ends with forgiving your parents for whatever.
Our parents' DNA is and always will be a part of who we are. Resenting our parents in any way and maintaining unforgiveness is simply the same as resenting ourselves and be unforgiving to ourselves. Because resentment is also energy, it's also a form of energy. Emotions carry energy. And so that resentment that you think you're sending to your parents, you're actually sending to yourself, because you have their DNA.
Forgiveness of parents, it doesn't mean that what they did was right or they were going through their stories too, because they had a childhood, they had parents, and they had to deal with that too. But forgiveness is for me. Forgiveness means that what happened no longer determines who I am in this moment. Because if you do not forgive, then you'll be continuously living in the past, and so your future will be less accessible to you. And I'm not saying that you may not think your parents have done some extremely terrible things. I'm not saying that, and I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying today it's about you. It's all about you. And it's all about you. It's all about you and what you think about you and what you are, because of the choices you are making for you, and understanding that the past is the past and today is a new moment to be the best version of who we are. Thank you for listening. I love you guys so much. I really do. Whoever is watching, and I appreciate that you do watch. And share your thoughts, share your thoughts, share your stories. I'm here, I'll be reading them, I'll be listening to them. Have an amazing day.